Alright, y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it's worth. Let's get this merch. Subscribe to the PDH Network. Alright, y'all see what's going on here? As y'all see the thumbnail, y'all read the title under the thumbnail. Yeah, man, this one today is dealing with J.Prince, the pops of J.Prince Jr. and Jazz. And J.Prince, he wants Lil Migo Bands turned in. See, I told you guys a couple videos back that Quavo and Offset and everybody else that's associated to the Migos, they wanted LilCam5th turned in. So they wanted J.Prince Jr. to turn in his shooter, LilCam5th. Well, I told y'all it was gonna happen, and it happened. So right now, they have LilCam5th in custody, and his lawyer speaks on the fact that he had nothing to do with TakeOff being set up, but at the same time, he will spill the beans. But this video is pertaining to J.Prince informing Quavo to now turn in his shooter, whom is Migo Bands. So yeah, now that them people done scooped up LilCam5th, it seems like he may have said a name, and the name happened to be Patrick Clark. So yeah, man, right now at this moment, they saying that Patrick Clark is the one that allegedly set up and shot TakeOff at the private event, man. We told you guys before, once they start bringing these guys in that had something to do with TakeOff being set up, people was gonna start talking. And we seeing it act out right now in real time. Because again, right after LilCam5th get arrested, just barely 2 days later, they go scoop up Patrick Xavier Clark. We gonna see what he has to say based on what actually happened at the private event. Was he the one that actually upped the blicky? Was it Migo Bands? Was it LilCam5th? We gonna see, because trust me, this is not the end. It's more in store. Because the only way to properly go further with this whole investigation pertaining to TakeOff being set up at a private event, because a lot of people don't know which one upped the blicky and shot first. You have some people saying that LilCam5th, he was the one that upped the blicky, and then you have those that saying it was Migo Bands. But at the same time, a lot of people know what they seen. And I'm talking pertaining to the video where TakeOff was blicky down and sent up. Now I know people want to get into the back and forth pertaining to, well, Quavo said something to make the other guy up the blicky. We not speaking on that right now. We speaking on the fact that, again, who was the one to hit TakeOff? Was it Migo Bands? Patrick Clark? Or was it LilCam5th? I told y'all what was going to happen. With J.Prince Jr. and his mob ties affiliates, they going to feel pressed. And the only thing they could do to relieve the pressure is to turn over LilCam5th. And that's what they did. Now, y'all got to understand, LilCam5th, he wasn't picked up on no humbug type of mission. He was picked up pertaining to J.Prince Jr. and his mob ties affiliates trying to clear their name based on what happened with TakeOff and Chicago's own Duke the Jeweler. Before we get into it, as always, let's first pay our respects and say rest in peace to TakeOff, condolences to his family, and much love to all my folks in the ATL. Quavo, Offset, Lingo, y'all keep y'all head ups out there. And in a minute, you guys will see justice based on what happened with TakeOff. And I would also like to show love and say rest in peace to Chicago's own Duke the Jeweler, condolences to his family, and much love to all my folks in Chicago. See, the folks in Chicago, again, those that's affiliated to Duke the Jeweler, they still looking for Duke's missing jewelry. So I know everybody is caught up with the whole TakeOff situation, but at the same time, we can't forget about what happened with Duke the Jeweler. Yeah, like folks were saying, the issue that a lot of people have is that this happened over a month ago, pertaining to TakeOff being set up at a private event. Now, them people want to investigate LilCam5th after J.Prince and his sons had turned him in. Now they want Quavo and Offset to turn in Migo Bands. So why is it taking a whole month or more for the main two people to be brought in, knowing we could all see it on camera, and knowing that everybody who was at that private event, they knew the two main people who had the blickies, because everybody else was not let inside with one. Like folks said, they only let one person from each side carry the blicky, LilCam5th and Migo Bands. Yes, we could all look at the fact that J.Prince Jr. and the mob ties, they didn't want to cough up LilCam5th because he knows a lot. And a lot of people believe that's the same issue with Quavo and Migo Bands. Because J.Prince feel LilCam5th, he had nothing to do with the whole TakeOff being set up. That's why the folks is seeing in the reports and the news that LilCam5th lawyer stated himself that his client will say what's ever needed in order to properly solve the case. But at the same time, he's saying LilCam5th had nothing to do with it. Y'all best believe that J.Prince paid that representation very well because the history that LilCam5th has. So that's the reason why a lot of people feel like bringing in Lil Cam was the best thing that they could have done. But at the same time, people still want to know where Migo Bands is at. And one of those folks happened to be J.Prince. Because J.Prince, he feels like he cleared any reports out there pertaining to his sons, J.Prince Jr. and Jazz, having something to do with Duke the Jeweler and TakeOff untimely demise. So now that the people got LilCam5th, J.Prince Jr. shooter, now the folks want Quavo shooter, whom is Migo Bands. Because the storylines keep switching. Now the person that's representing LilCam5th is stating that his client had nothing to do with TakeOff being set up. But he will tell them people any information they want to hear. And that's dealing with the actual person that pulled out the blicky and sent up TakeOff. But this the issue right here, right? A lot of people was informed with the fact that it was J.Prince Jr. Mob Ties Affiliates private event, okay? So dealing with that, J.Prince Jr., he had his homeboys check the people that was walking in. And it was stated that the only people who was allowed blickies inside of the private event was J.Prince Jr. Mob Ties. But dig this, I got some real information pertaining to that. See, you had those that's affiliated to the Migos. When they came to the private event, they bought some blickies as well. Same thing went for J.Prince Jr. and his Mob Ties. Basically, you had two sides that had blickies because they want to protect the people of interest, whom is Quavo, TakeOff, J.Prince Jr. and Jazz, okay? So what I'm saying is both sides had their guys with blickies. But this the thing right here. When they was brought to the door, when they approached the front door to get into the event, only one person from each side was able to bring in the blicky. So say if you had 5 people from J.Prince Jr. camp and you had 5 people from Quavo camp, they all got blickies, right? So what they did was they made the other 4 put up their blickies from each side, and only one person from each side was able to come in with the blicky. And these people and these persons happen to be Migo Bands and LilCam5th. See, LilCam5th, he was already on papers. He wasn't supposed to have a blicky on him anyway. So a lot of people have questions for J.Prince Jr. and they saying, why would you have the young dude out here with a blicky if you knew he was on papers? He had been on papers for getting caught with a blicky before. And also, he got into some other criminal activity pertaining to him carrying a blicky. So what I'm saying is, he was supposed to be the cat, LilCam5th was supposed to be the cat to step into the event without no blicky. You supposed to gave that to somebody with a more professional outlook on things. A little mature is what I'm saying. Now, pertaining to Migo Bands, I really don't know his history, you know what I'm saying? Pertaining to him getting into any type of criminal activity. Now, if he has a history pertaining to constantly get into some type of street or criminal activity, then it was up to Quavo to let somebody else handle the blicky. You know what I'm saying? Because Migo Bands, he knows too much information for folks to think that Quavo is just gonna turn him over. It ain't that easy. Y'all seen how J.Prince, he was moving and grooving to not turn in LilCam5th. And at the same time, yes, J.Prince did pay for LilCam5th representation. He paid for his attorney. But this the whole reason why a lot of people at the event already knew it was only 2 people who was allowed into the event who was able to carry the blickies. And again, that was LilCam5th from J.Prince Jr. Mob Ties Affiliates and Migo Bands from Quavo's camp. But yeah, man, this video is based on J.Prince. He want Quavo to turn in Migo Bands, just like they turned in LilCam5th. They saying we got to make things even. And the only way to do that is to cough up both shooters. And I agree. Hey, but we got more in store. But as always, y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it's worth. Let's get this merch. Subscribe to the PDH Network.